It was a Tuesday morning like any other, at least. That's what I thought when I woke up. The sun was just starting to peek over the horizon. The birds were making their usual racket, and I was already up, sipping my coffee, getting ready for another day of engineering work. Nothing unusual, right? Well, that was until I stepped out of my front door and into a nightmare. You ever wake up and feel like you've been caught in some kind of twisted dream? Like something you never saw coming was happening right in front of you? That's exactly how I felt when I saw what had happened to my driveway. My driveway, the one my grandfather had built from scratch, with his own 2 hands, was gone. Gone. Completely replaced with a smooth stretch of asphalt. But not for my truck, not for my tractors, not for any farm machinery I needed. No, this new asphalt. It was a jogging path. I stood there, mouth hanging open, trying to wrap my head around what I was seeing. I mean, seriously, who does that? Who just paves over someone's private property like it's theirs to do with as they please? But of course, it wasn't just some random road work. Oh no, this had HOA written all over it. And sure enough, standing there like she owned the whole damn place was Debbie Rustan, clipboard in hand, acting like she was some kind of general overseeing a military operation. I swear, if I didn't know better, I'd say she was enjoying this. She had that smilio, you know the one. The kind of smile that says, I won, and you lost. Excuse me, I said, trying to keep my voice even, though I could feel the anger building up in my chest. What the hell is going on here? She looked up at me, pushing her little glasses up her nose, and in that condescending tone of hers, she said, Oh, Mr. Hayes, as part of our community beautification initiative, we've decided to expand the paths for jogging and walking. You know, for everyone's benefit. For a moment, I thought I was going to lose it right then and there. This wasn't just about a path, it was about disrespect. This was my family's land, my grandfather's legacy. And now, some HOA dictator was going to tell me what I could and couldn't do with it? No, this wasn't just a simple road dispute. This was personal. I pointed to the freshly paved path that now cut right through my ranch. You have no right to do this. This is private property. Debbie didn't even flinch. In fact, she barely even acknowledged my anger. Oh, but we've revised your property boundaries, she said, pulling out a piece of paper like it held the key to everything. You'll be received a bill for due law $4,200 for this improvement, and from now on, no farm vehicles are allowed on the path. I don't know if it was the price tag or the idea of being told what to do with my own land, but something inside me snapped. The nerve of this woman. I stared at her, holding back everything I wanted to say, but all I could think of were the 3 tractors sitting in my garage, Big Blue, Green Machine, and Red Beast, me grandfather's pride and joy. I walked inside, grabbed my grandfather's old John Deere cap off the hook, and headed out. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. That night, after I got off the phone with my lawyer buddy Bob, who confirmed that the HOA had no jurisdiction over my property, I sat in my garage staring at my tractors. I had Big Blue, the 1962 Ford 4000, the workhorse. Then Green Machine, the 1968 John Deere 3020, perfect for delicate tasks. And Red Beast, the loud, proud 1971 International 574 that could bulldoze its way through anything. These machines weren't just tractors, they were part of my family. And now, Debbie Rustan, this wannabe HOA tyrant, thought she could dictate what I did with them? Hell no. By Wednesday, I had a plan. I spent the whole morning getting those tractors in perfect shape, making sure they ran like they were brand new. I fired them up one by one, letting the sound of diesel engines fill the air. Let Debbie hear that. Let her see what she was messing with. And sure enough, the next morning, she came marching up to my driveway with her clipboard like she was ready to take me down. Mr. Hayes, she said, all high and mighty. You need to remove your equipment immediately. This is a community path now, and your farm vehicles don't belong here. I could feel the blood rush to my face. I calmly looked at her and said, No, Debbie, this is still my land. You can't just take it. You're not going to tell me where I can park my tractors. She laughed, clearly thinking this was all some kind of joke. But as she turned to leave, I knew exactly what I had to do. Saturday morning came, and the whole neighborhood woke up to the sound of Big Blue's engine roaring to life. I wasn't just starting up a tractor, I was making a statement. Green Machine joined in, and Red Beast followed suit, the engines singing their own song of defiance. I moved Big Blue right onto the new path, right where it didn't belong. Green Machine parked beside it. Then Red Beast completed the perfect blockade. I set up my sign, Hayes Ranch Tractor Parking Permanent Residence. And let me tell you, People noticed. Neighbors came out, kids laughed, and some even took pictures. The local TV crew showed up. Everyone was watching, and I could feel that old Hayes family pride swelling up in my chest. But then Debbie arrived. She stormed over, red-faced and furious. "You can't do this. This is community property," she shouted. "Debbie," I said, leaning back in the driver's seat of Big Blue. "This is my land. You're the one who's trespassing. These tractors are now the official parking lot for Hayes Ranch. Take it up with the HOA if you want, but you've already made your bed." She fumed, sputtered, and tried to argue, but the EVY was clear. The neighbors were on my side, and everyone could see through her little power trip. It didn't end there, though. The next day, Debbie pulled out her most desperate move yet. She called in the cops. She filed a fake police report, claiming that I was running a drug operation on my property. I knew exactly who was behind it, but I let the officers search. After an hour of looking through my property, they found nothing. The officers were kind, but they were just doing their job. They left with nothing but an apology. The damage was done, though. She'd already made me look like a criminal in front of my neighbors. By the end of the week, things were escalating fast. But I wasn't backing down. Saturday came, and I threw a barbecue, inviting the whole neighborhood. I wanted everyone to see what was really happening here, to hear the truth. The tractor blockade had become a local legend, and I wasn't going to let Debbie ruin it. I turned what was supposed to be a confrontation into a community celebration. When Debbie showed up with her fake legal papers, everyone laughed. It was the most ridiculous thing anyone had ever seen. Even the media showed up, and when she started her usual rants about community standards, the whole neighborhood stood together in defiance. By the end of the day, Debbie was done. Her credibility was gone. She'd lost the community's trust, and the law was on my side. Her fake authority was exposed for what it really was, a farce. And that wasn't the end. By the following Tuesday, Debbie was arrested for filing a false police report and attempting to extort money from me. The real HOA sent their representatives to apologize for her actions, and they even offered to help remove the asphalt she'd laid down. I wasn't interested in their help. I had something better in mind. The neighborhood came together for a massive demolition. It wasn't just about getting rid of the asphalt, it was about reclaiming what was mine. My grandfather's land, my family's legacy. We tore up that asphalt, and it felt like freedom. The tractors worked together, breaking up the pavement, while neighbors hauled debris. It was a party, a revolt, a stand for everything we believed in. By the end of the week, my original driveway was back, just like it had been. And I had proof. Frank's old survey maps showed that part of what Debbie had considered common area was actually mine. I had her exactly where I wanted her. Debbie's final fall from grace was almost poetic. She lost everything: her house, her reputation, her authority. She moved away, unable to face anyone in the community. The transformation of Hayes Ranch was incredible. What started as a small act of defiance turned into a thriving tourist business. My tractors became symbols of American resilience, and my story spread across the country. I had people reaching out for advice on how to fight back against HOA tyranny. And then there was Sarah. She came into my life, and we shared the same values. We got married on the ranch, with Big Blue, Green Machine, and Red Beast standing proudly behind us. It was a perfect day. So what began as a simple dispute over a driveway turned into something much larger, something that had a lasting impact on my community. I stood up for what was right, and in doing so, I honored my grandfather's legacy, the land he built, and the tractors that had been passed down through generations. Now, every morning, when I put on that old John Deere cap, I think about everything we've accomplished. Because sometimes, it's not just about the land, it's about standing up for what you believe in, and never letting anyone pave over your dreams. And if you've ever faced something similar, an overzealous HOA or someone trying to push you around, comment below. Let me know how you fought back. Let's keep this conversation going because we all deserve to defend what's ours. And remember, don't let anyone pave over your dreams.